What it do is eat from the inside out, not outside in. This is part 2 of my Michael Jackson video, like saying I see myself in Michael Jackson. Once again, I already know how everybody's going to take that. Most people are surface level in 3D and are very ignorant to majority of what's taking place on Earth right now. And you guys are everyone's very visual, and they don't think they don't think below the surface level. So no, I don't and can't sing like Michael Jackson. I don't look like Michael Jackson. I'm not as popular and famous as Michael Jackson, and no, I'm not as talented as Michael Jackson. But on the other note, I can sing, I can dance, I can rap, I can make music, I can draw. You know, I can be a leader. I'm very emotionally intelligent. I can see through shit. I can see through you. And a lot of y'all don't even mention my name, you know, compared to Mike Jack, because y'all can't even compare yourselves to me. A lot of y'all can't. And that's not having any ego. That's just me saying what it is, because I've put in a lot of work. Even though I'm not in the best shape in my life, whatever, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the best shape, but I've put in a lot of work. So that's why I can see what Michael Jackson truly went through to be able to get to that level, to where he was able to become the person that we all loved and know today. And it was not because of Joe Jackson. And I don't want to hear like, oh, you gotta whip your kids so they can be great, or you gotta pressure turns you into diamonds and all. Like, nigga, yes and no. First of all, we are not a diamond, and a lot of times the black community is pressuring their kids on the most stupid shit ever. You know what I'm saying? The black community teaches their children how to deal with their parents, not how to deal with real world relationships, devices, all types of shit. Right? A lot of black parents don't teach their children how to deal with the real world. They teach their children how to deal with them as parents and what they want as parents, and the identity that your parents have placed on you. They beat you into your identity. If you do anything outside of that, if you voice your opinions or concerns, if you question them, you will get punished in a lot of ways. You will be yelled at, you'll get beat, you'll get shit taken away from you and thrown at you. A lot of black people grew up how Michael Jackson did. But the difference is, Mike Jack didn't really go to school like that. Was he homeschooled? I don't know, but he didn't go to regular school like that because he was too famous. But he had a platform where he could showcase his talent. So at the very least, at least he had something to show for himself. You know what I'm saying? He was forced against his will, just like we all are, especially being in a black household. But he was forced against his will to go up on that stage and become successful and be great at what he does. Cool. But the thing is, people knew who he was and how talented he was. There was nobody taking credit for his shit. But I can't say that for all black people. You know what I'm saying? Because their parents didn't give them a platform for nothing. Right now, I just helped my dad build a platform that can be passed down, quote unquote. But I was there from the jump, though. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just not some shit that was given to me or I was born into. Like, this some, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of unnecessary shit that happened with that as well. And it's deeper than what it is for sure. But all I'm saying is that I relate to Michael Jackson on a lot of levels. There's a lot of people in my family that know celebrities. There's people in my family that's connected to the music industry and all that. So they know, they know how the game goes with that and stuff like that. But there's so much shit that happens behind closed doors that the average person does not even know or recognize. So you see an artist on stage and they're performing good and smiling and all that, but y'all don't know the pain behind that smile. Y'all don't know all the arguments behind that smile. Y'all don't know all the suffering behind that smile. And the movie didn't showcase what Michael Jackson actually went through as a child. That was probably 5% of what actually happened. Like, it was way worse than that. Way worse. Michael loved so much that he was still there taking care of his brothers, taking care of his parents, all that, when he became number one, paying the bills. Like, that was Mike's house that everybody was living in, bro. Like, they got famous because of Mike and his voice and his talent. Mike could have found his way to that through God. And this is like, I'm gonna make a video of Joe Jackson being a narcissist, right? I'm very familiar with narcissists and narcissism. Michael Jackson, if it was God's plan or the universe plan for him, he would have found his way to stardom regardless of being used, abused, and taken advantage of. As soon as, if Michael Jackson had normal people as parents or chosen ones as parents, as soon as they would have started making hundreds of thousands and millions, they would have let Michael Jackson know as a young child star. They would have let him know his power. They would have let him know his power and how much influence he had versus taking that away from him. Right? He was making them millions and he was getting his ass beat. He was making them millions and he was getting controlled. He was putting in all the work, the extra work, and they was using him, abusing him, and down talking him, and downplaying him, and destroying his character, trying to get him to separate from his inner child from the inside out. And as a black person, I will never recommend family business, because your parents are no longer your parents. They are your associates and business acquaintances and all of that. And a lot of the times, your parents as black people do not have their own identity when it comes to the workplace and when it comes to business and when it comes to the real world. They have the identity that the slave master wants them to have. They have the identity that the white man wants them to have, right? So as soon as you work with your people or your parents in a business setting or a work setting, it's going to be very like switch upable. Like, it's one thing having a code switch and not be loud and not be ghetto and not be this. Like, I understand that. You gotta talk proper. You gotta be you, or you know what I'm saying. You gotta smile. You gotta present yourself. You gotta have your hair cut. You gotta have your clothes ironed. You gotta have your face clean. You gotta smell good, look good. You should be sharp, ins and outs. But then it comes to the soul aspect. Where is your soul when you are in that place of the white man, when you are in the place of the patriarchy, when you are working, when you are negotiating business? Where is the soul? Where is the spirit? And this is where the black people have a problem. They think they can be soulless like white people. You can't do that. This is their system. They run the system right now. They either constructed or rearranged what was already there, the system in their favor. So you can't do the same thing that the white man does in his own system currently. You can't do that because it was not made for us. It was made for them to act that way. Black people are not supposed to act that way. We're not supposed to be soulless. We're not supposed to snatch our child's inner self from them. We're not supposed to snatch our child's identity from them. We're not supposed to snatch our child's love and own mind from them. We're not supposed to snatch our own child's self-respect and voice. All because you want some fucking money. Literally, Mike went through all of that abuse because his dad wanted money. Because his dad was a fucking narcissist and did not handle his shit, did not handle his business before he had fucking children. He took that shit out on all of his children, all of his insecurities, all of his everything that he was supposed to be doing as a man. He took that shit out on his children. And I hear people, oh, well, Joe did great. No, the fuck he did not. You don't beat talent out of somebody. You don't force a butterfly outside of its cocoon. Everything takes time and patience. That's why as soon as Michael Jackson separated from his dad and his brother and went solo, he became number one. God's favor was always on Michael Jackson. And don't blame too much on God. Like, why would God put Michael Jackson in that situation? God gives us free will and free choice. Sometimes it's literally your family and your parents screwing you over. It's their choice of what they're doing. And a lot of times God can't protect you from your parents' choice because we have God power as well. And your parents use their God power to fuck you over and control you. So that's why Michael had to go through what he went through because of his fucking parents. Mike didn't ask to be here, but his parents had him and placed a world of expectation on him. And then when he questioned them or questioned their part and why he has to do so much and why so much is put on him, he got whooped and beat for that. Don't ask, you do as I tell you, you think what I tell you to think, you do what I tell you to do. But them times are over. The chosen ones are here. We are waking up day by day. We're claiming our voice back. We are connecting back to our inner child. We're opening our pineal gland. We're vibrating higher than ever. We feel the shift and change and energy on the earth. We feel all of that. This is a big narcissistic collapse. And this is what this movie represents. It represents the narcissistic collapse, the death of the old world, the death of the narcissist, and the rebirth of the chosen one. Chosen ones have to be reborn. Christ being baptized and reborn and washing away his sins, no, is wiping away all of your traumas and transgressions from the past and using that as fuel, transmuting all of that energy and rebirthing yourself into the new version of you. But that does not mean you have to go through all of that negativity, all that demonic, all of that Steen Island shit to become the best version of you. You can do the same thing faster through love, through unconditional love. By your parents doing shadow work and loving themselves from the inside out and healing their generational curses and traumas before having you, they will be able to show their child unconditional love and not place a fucking expectation on their child for nothing. Majority of us As black children, we should not be here. That's why God that's why God sent our parents some motherfuckers that's gonna question their ass. Like, no, y'all niggas are bullshitting this whole fucking time. What are y'all doing? Then y'all wanna intimidate us and instill fear into us as children and take our voice and identity away. Y'all wanna place all these expectations on us as children. When we are vulnerable, we don't even know how to barely talk or think about anything. And y'all want to instill fear into us as a child? We don't even understand right from wrong, and we getting our ass beat. Y'all didn't even explain right from wrong, and we getting our ass beat. And then when we start to put two and two together, and then we getting older and we do what we see y'all fuck asses doing, and y'all whoop us some more or want to put hands on us. Oh, well, I'm grown. You don't do as I do. You do as I say. So the one time you were able to teach us something as parents, the one time you're able to teach us something, we get whooped for that shit. We get beat for that shit. And we get betrayed by our parents. Because you told us to listen to you our whole lives. You beat us into listening to you. You beat us into watching you, your every move, and doing as you say, right? So now we get our own comprehension, and we're watching you because you beat us into doing that. We can't listen to ourselves. We can't have our own identity. We don't watch ourselves. We're watching you. Then we do what you do and still get beat again. So now this causes depression, anxiety, sickness, immune diseases, high cortisol, stress, heart attack, diabetes, addictions, fornicate, like being overly promiscuous, being attracted to shit we're not even biologically wired to be attracted to. Because we are experiencing all this pain, strife, hurt, and betrayal as a fucking child. We are scared. We are intimidated. We are hurt than a bitch. We are underdeveloped as people, and we are forced to be underdeveloped. You say something, they call it smart, or you say something sarcastic when you have all the right to say that as a child, especially if your parents are on bullshit. And you're so fucking smart, you call the shit out like you're supposed to be allowed to. Everybody is going to be held accountable. You don't get to escape accountability. That shit is fucking over, nigga. All them parents born in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Chosen ones are here. And why do you think, okay, majority of chosen ones was born in 1999, the year I was born, right on the cusp between all of the old world and the coming of the new world, right on the cusp, right? We grew up with technology becoming what it is now today, while experiencing the old childhood where we was playing outside, where we can walk outside without having to worry about it. Was still always watch out for white vans and shit, but we was outside going to the parks, riding bikes, all this other shit before we had iPads, before we had phones. We had the OG Xbox, we had PSP, it was PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and then it was the 360 and the PS3 for a fat minute. You feel me? But yeah, we grew up right on that cusp that we had, especially black children. Our parents did not raise us. They just, we got our ass beat for doing what our parents thought was wrong. We didn't get shit explained to us. No explanation, no communication, no no emotional connection with our masculine, no emotional connection with our feminine. It was like a stone cold connection with the masculine, and it was a trauma bonding connection with the feminine. Both sides toxic as fuck. And then if you don't want to trauma bond with your fucking mama, you getting your ass whooped, your ass beat, just abused. Like, nigga, you are my no, nigga. Like, I barely even speak. Like, I live with my parents right now. Have I moved out before? Yeah, but I had to move back because of some shit with the family business. I'm in certain debt and all that. Like, it's a lot of shit didn't transpire, didn't happen. But yeah, I will talk about some of that shit. But hey, I'm 26, but I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot. I've had a lot of combos with people older than me, all that, younger than me. I've put a lot of people on game, and I just want people to know that I truly, truly love people from the inside out. That's because I love myself from the inside out, and I've been restricted from becoming my best self because of my environment. Yeah, I have a lot to play with that too, but there's certain y'all chosen ones already know you can't grow to your best self in an environment that's caging you in and locking you down. And now the government fucked up the economy to the max while the chosen ones are supposed to be becoming the adults. The chosen ones are now 23 up to 28, 29. And this is, it's hard as fuck to get a job. Jobs are not paying you for shit. Groceries, living expenses, cars, insurance, all of that shit is at an all-time high right now. While they have not raised the wage gap for nothing. Women are just being promiscuous, selling, playing in good men's faces and all that. Men are getting hurt. Men are listening to Red Pill, learning how to hate women. And a lot of this shit stems from lack of self-identity. The parents from the 30s all the way to the damn 80s, nigga, even the 90s, they strip their children of their identity because they don't want their children questioning the fuck shit that is going on. They want the children upholding the illusions and the lies going on because they were not ready to have children. They were not financially stable. They have not did the shadow work. They have not healed from the inside out. They have not had dark nights of the soul. They have not questioned themselves. They have not looked at the man in the mirror. They think niggas like Michael Jackson, they just think he's one of one and nobody on earth is like Mike. Well, that is true to a certain extent. But his soul is here. His love is here. That's the same love of Jesus. Jesus got crucified. Jesus was getting talked bad on. They whooped Jesus. Dragged him through the whole city. Bloody, whooped, beat, dragged that nigga through the whole city. And nailed his ass to a cross. They crucified Jesus Christ. And look at the same shit that was happening to Michael Jackson. He had all this fame, power, and control and didn't show any signs of him doing anything they accused him of. And he was protecting children, loving children, protecting them from that Steen Island, nigga. And they gaslit him. The same, bro, I'm telling you, the same shit has happened to me. But I'm not famous. That shit didn't happen in the public eye. But the type of gaslighting and projection that was put on Michael Jackson and character defamation and using him and abusing him and calling him crazy and insane and misunderstanding him, that same shit has happened to me. But it has not been nobody that has seen what's going on. And it's like, I'm not about to come out here publicly state some shit because I don't know. It's just like so much has happened. I don't remember everything to the T. Like I do to a certain extent, but I don't, because the more I don't have time to keep dwelling on what has happened to me, because the more I think about it, the more it brings me down, the more it lowers my vibration, the more it puts me in a state to where I'm a victim. And I'm trying to heal from all of that shit and let it go so I'm not miserable. And I have to forgive, not forget. But I kind of want all of that shit just out of my fucking head so I don't even have to be on guard with nothing. Like, I've literally had to learn narcissistic ways and patterns to deal with narcissists. I had to learn how to be evil in certain ways to deal with evil. And to protect me, to protect myself. It's like, I didn't even... Here's how sensitive I was as a kid. Like, anytime somebody yelled at me, I would start bawling crying. Anytime anybody yelled at me, I would start bawling crying. Anytime anybody cussed at me, I would start crying. Right? I would ask for forgiveness. I would beg for forgiveness. I was a people pleaser. I was a teacher's pet. I wanted to help everybody. And nobody pulled me to the side. And I was doing this shit all the way up until 24, nigga. 25. Until I had to pull myself aside, nigga. Like, nigga, look back at how you are being taken advantage of. Look back at how these niggas are playing in your fucking face and calling you crazy for calling them out on bullshit. Look how hard they are making everything for you. Look how hard they are making the process. Look how many times you've had this conversation with them of basic empathy and sympathy, basic principles. Look how hard you are explaining to them and want them to understand. They don't give two fucks about you. They don't care. They're selfish. It's all about them. They only care about image. Just like fucking Joe Jackson, he only cared about money, fame, and image at the expense of his fucking children. There shouldn't have been no fucking Michael Jackson in Jackson 5, nigga. Not how Joe Jackson had it. I never want to be entertained off the expense of children. I never want to be entertained off the expense of other fucking people's misery. Never. And people want to call me psycho and crazy when I broke down the whole fucking game. I broke this whole shit down. And you will let me just say, I see through all this bullshit. Y'all don't even understand Michael Jackson in the ways that I understand him. Because when he was a little ass child, I seen so much of me in him. I was getting beat for being bubbly and loving and caring. And it's like, we so focused on the patriarchy, the patriarchal structure, like, oh, men are supposed to be this way, men are supposed to act this, men are supposed to play sports, men are supposed to do this, you got to get good grades, go to school, boys don't do this. I get there's certain things that the masculine vessel and the feminine vessel is supposed to be doing, but you never, ever, ever strip your child away from love, and you never neglect your child, and you never kill the inner child of your child. You never sever the connection of your child's self from them. You never scrutinize your child and criticize them off of shit that they don't even know about or can't control. You pull them to the side and show them the significance and the importance out of love and patience. I did not receive that shit. I got criticized. I got told what was wrong. If I didn't do it, I was getting my ass beat, whooped, whatever. I didn't ever get shit explained to me, nigga. But when I started to figure out them explanations, oh no, you crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Just do what I tell you. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just do what I tell you to do. And I'm just like, nigga, that shit is unacceptable. And I see that dynamic with the Joe Jackson type dad too fucking often. Them niggas are cowards, nigga. You owe an explanation to your child. And if you don't want to explain shit to a child, then don't have children. You can't afford a child, don't have children. If you don't have the mental capacity or emotional capacity for a child, don't have children. Because having children is a full-time job. You owe your life to that child. The child doesn't owe you shit. You brought them here. And I stand on that. All right, producers.